Hey everyone, welcome back to the Emerald Oracle. I have a new love reading set up for you here, a pick a card reading. And the question is, does he or she miss me? And will they do anything about it? So we're going to ask the angels and spirit guides to shed some light and see what answers they have for you on that question. Okay, so before we get going, I just want to remind everybody to please subscribe, like and share, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I put up new videos. The subscriptions would really help me to be able to keep doing this and keep putting up new videos for you, so I would love to do that. All right, alrighty, so we're going to have you choose from set of cards 1, 2, or 3. On each I have a crystal and a little baby seashell. On set of cards 1 we have a pink and green aura crystal. Little hard to see on the backdrop, I'll hold that up. Little point there. And sort of like a spiral horn type formation in the shell. And set of cards 2 has a piece of rutilated clear quartz. You can see that. And a sort of horn type swirl, I want to say. Here, you can see the top of it there. That's also pretty cool and unique. And then on set of cards 3, we have a pink aura quartz. And really pretty. It's like clear but pink. It's so cool. Love this one. Okay, and then a little like swirl floral flower looking, almost like a rosebud looking shell. These are so cool, these mini shells. Okay, so now we're gonna have you clear your mind, please. Take a couple of deep breaths. Picture a blue sky or a clear white sheet of paper. And then you're going to choose from set of cards 1, 2, or 3. I'll just give you a minute to do that. All right, so we're going to get going with set of cards number 1. And just move these guys over. All right, so we are set of cards number 1. We are asking, does he or she miss me? And will they do anything about it? Let's get that in the frame there for you. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's put that over. Maybe you can put him there. Okay. Wow. All right. All right. So right out of the gate, does he or she miss you? Yes. This would be a huge yes. They do miss you. Let me just so YouTube doesn't like get mad at me. I'm gonna just cover that up. You know what? Let's put this one there. Okay. Just so we don't have anything X-rated on YouTube. But do they miss you? Yes, they miss you. Very, very much so. This person, this looks like, for most of you, it was most likely a relationship either lasted for a while or it was a pretty intense relationship. Intense meaning just... I want to say quality. It was like a mostly a good relationship. Maybe a couple of things went wrong in the end, but for the most part, this doesn't look like, well, I don't want to say, it doesn't look like it ended badly, but it does feel to me like it might have had to end abruptly for one reason or another. So this person definitely misses you. This person thinks of you quite often, whether it's male or female. It makes no matter. Equate it to yourself. So this person that you are thinking about, they definitely miss you. They think about you all the time. And I would venture to say that they feel like you've probably gone on with your life. And not to say that they haven't moved on with their life, but not to the same degree that you have, or at least not to the degree that they believe that you have. And I want to say for most of you, you've moved on, but you still think about it too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be clicking on this video, right? They still cross your mind, and maybe there's some elements to this relationship that feel unfinished to you. And you probably have accepted that it's done, it's, you know, it's over, it's the past, nothing's going to come of it. But I get the sense that with this relationship, there may have been some, you know, some questions, some unanswered questions in the end. Between the two of you, or at least from one of you to the other, that never got addressed, or you never got really a good answer about it. So there is an element of that. But in that person's perception, they feel like they miss you, they think about you all the time, but they've convinced themselves that you don't think about them. They don't think that they were as important to you as you were to them, and still are, basically. I feel like they definitely weigh it out. They definitely, you know, it weighs on them. Should they try to contact you? Should they try to come back? Should they try to, you know, open a conversation with you or initiate talks? I feel for most of you, you don't even speak to this person anymore. Let me make that clear. I feel like some of you may hear things through the grapevine about the person, and vice versa for them. But I don't think that the two of you have direct contact. And that was probably necessary at the time that you split for whatever reason. But this is basically letting me know that, so they do toy with contacting you. They really want to, actually. And they have, you know, they honestly, I would go so far as to say that they have kind of dreams about it, like that it would really make them happy and answer a wish. Like they truly miss you. They miss your connection. They miss the intimacy that they had with you. I will say that this seems like a relationship. I just realized that card has stuff on it too. This feels like a relationship where gonna cover that up. Where the sexual connection was good and was intense. So this feels like a relationship where that part of the relationship worked pretty good. Or at least the person that you're asking about, the one that misses you, that's their perception of the relationship. At least on their part, you probably were the best sex they ever had. Like they miss you for sure sexually, as well as missing you in every other way, missing the love and missing the friendship and the bond kind of thing. However, I will say that it's as much as they let you get close to them, because I do feel like for this group, many of these people that are the ones in question, do they miss you? Many of these people are very guarded. So I don't know at the time that you were involved with them how close they let you get to them. Let's say that. It seems like they put up a wall that was a little bit hard to penetrate, okay? So they had barriers that were hard to break through and walls to break down. This person also feels like the end of your relationship, they view it as a little unfair. For whatever reason, they feel like either they weren't treated fairly, or they didn't get kind of like a fair shake in the end. Like that maybe they feel like there was something in question and you didn't believe them or trust them, or maybe they behaved in a certain way and that upset you and disturbed you, and you just moved forward from there, and you really didn't want to go any further or hear anything else about it, or give them another chance to behave differently, because maybe their actions like spoke louder than words. It feels like that kind of thing. Now again, I don't feel like this for this group, I don't get the sense that this was a bad person in any way. Just a human person that was a bit flawed. You know, maybe they had a little bit of a rough childhood or some issues or some baggage that they just either didn't handle or they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know what to do about it. So for this group, it's it feels like it was a good person, but a little bit troubled in the sense of they just couldn't get past themselves. You know, they couldn't get past certain walls and certain barriers, really keeping them from having true intimacy. Because as most of us know, you know, intimacy is not just the sexual part, right? The true intimacy between a relationship is that connection and that bond where you let each other in, you know, spiritually and romantically and not just sexually, but you really trust each other and confide in each other and make the other person feel like you're present and you're committed to, you know, to each other and to having a successful relationship. So I feel like this person really wanted that, but didn't know quite how to express that. And that's where they tripped up quite a bit. And it feels like there were some basic differences between you. I don't think that they were things you couldn't surmount, but other things got in the way. But let's just say, it just feels like maybe you're overly generous and this person's like a little on the cheap side. You know, or maybe, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say cheap, but let's say like they're a little frugal and you're not frugal at all. Right? Maybe you overdo it with everything, or you're just give. But when you have such a juxtaposition like that, it can get a little, it could seem bigger than it is. You know, it could get a little annoying. You know, let's say you shower the person with Christmas presents and they give you like a candle, you know, or like, I don't know, you know, like, a winter hat or a set of, you know, knit gloves or something like, you know, and not there's anything wrong with those things, but what I'm trying to say is there was an imbalance of some kind. Not just, it doesn't need to be that way. That's just an example. It doesn't need to be monetarily, but there was a personality imbalance. But I do feel like it's a little bit sad because it does feel like it could have worked out. It feels like it just maybe was a timing issue, first of all. I feel like it was not the right time for this connection. And that's why I think it lasted a little bit of time. I think for most of you, this is probably a relationship that lasted a couple of years. But then, you know, then either, I don't feel like it fizzled out. I feel like, honestly, there was some kind of misunderstanding, or not even a misunderstanding, really more like a disagreement. And one of you may feel that the other one just bailed, you know, and maybe it's the one that you're asking, does he or she miss me? Maybe they just bailed. And I think that they do regret it because I think, you know, we asked right off the bat, does this person, he or she, miss me? And right out of the gate, it's saying that this person misses you a lot. So I have the sense that the end of the relationship was more either because of something this person did, or they themselves bailed out and now they really regret it. And like I said, they perceive that you've moved on, either with your life or with another person. And I believe that for most of you, you have. But I think it's something that comes up periodically, obviously, for you that have chosen this pile and that have sought out this video with this question, because I think it's a person that sometimes, not every day, not all the time, but I think that it does come up and it does, you do wonder about it. Because I think you know that it was, you know, for the most part, a good relationship. Like I said, just those issues that this person had trouble sort of getting over and letting their guard down and truly letting you in and really committing to the relationship. You know, this could have also been a situation where the person lived at a distance from you and they didn't want to maybe move to where you live, or they weren't putting in as much effort as you. It could have been maybe you wanted kids and they didn't, or they wanted kids and you didn't. I mean, it's some kind of disagreement where, you know, one of you just, instead of trying to figure out how to get around it or how to work it out, because it feels like whatever it was something that could have been worked out. But instead of doing that, I feel like they cut and ran. And they definitely regret that. Let me try to expand a little bit. Let's try to see if we get a clear picture on if they're going to actually do something about it. Because like I said, they seem like they feel like there's some kind of injustice, like they didn't get a fair shake or something, or a fair trial with you or something like that. And I get the feeling that most of you, they may even have tried to talk to you in the past and you've been like, no thanks. I have no need to talk to you. However, that doesn't mean that, I feel like that would have been a while ago. And now feels like the energy has shifted a bit. So let's just try to see. Oh, that's funny. It's the same card. That's funny. We have the 9 of Wands has come up. Okay, and the 10 of Wands. Oh boy. Okay, so well, this is kind of reiterating what I already said, but basically, have they gotten out of their own way? No, unfortunately, they haven't. If anything, I feel sadly like it's almost a little worse for them since you're not in their life anymore. Sadly, I feel like they've become even more guarded, and in their own sort of, you know, the dialogue that you tell yourself, not you, the other person, and the dialogue that they tell themselves, it sounds like they kind of use the relationship with you that didn't work out for them, that they view as like this beautiful big love, that you're like the one that got away. But they do feel like they were treated unfairly, or that they didn't get, that you didn't give them really a chance to explain or something like this. They feel like that is like, they use that almost like to fuel the flames of poor me kind of thing, you know? They use that as the backdrop to their life of nothing works out for me, and that's a great love that I lost, and this kind of thing. They definitely, this person viewed you as either a person to marry, a person to have their children, you know, or have children with. They viewed you as, honestly, they still hold you in the same regard of you are the most special person, I think, in their past, in their life. And I think that you also expanded their spiritual side. I think that you helped them to open their mind. I think you helped them to think differently in a more open-minded way. And they view you as sort of a little bit of a spiritual teacher to them. Okay, so again, back to why we expanded on this in the first place. Will they do something about it? Possibly. Possibly they will. They kind of have to push past all of their baggage and their fears to do it. And this is saying it's definitely a possibility that they might. But boy, it's a lot of it's a lot of baggage and a lot of issues. So does this person miss you? 100,000% they miss you. They think about you almost all the time. They consider you to be probably the love of their life. You were incredibly important to them then, and you're still important to them now. But they're aware that this person's aware that he or she has issues, and they're aware that they haven't really been able to break through any of those that much. And they think that you probably have barreled through whatever issues you have. They feel like they view you as, honestly, you know, not Buddha, but kind of like that. They view you as kind of a little bit guru status toward them. Not that that's how you are to everybody, but just in their mind, they feel like you're a self-help person who has worked on yourself and has only gotten stronger and evolved since you were with this person. And that's probably true for most of you. So they're quite intimidated. They want another chance. They want very badly to at least talk to you and be friends with you. But to be honest, I feel like it's a lie that they think they could be friends with you. They would not be able to handle it. You might be able to handle being friends with this person, but they wouldn't be able to handle it. They would always want more. So they battle with that. They battle with, could I handle just being friends? Will he or she even talk to me? That kind of thing. But they may eventually push through and push past those fears and those barriers, because they do come up as showing that there will be, at some point, it may overtake them, and they will have like their own sheer force of will to build up the courage to push through and contact you and just try to open the door and talk to you. Do I think that this relationship would rekindle? I don't think so. I really don't. But it's not a hard yes or no. So I lean towards no. It probably would not rekindle. Because I don't see, it looks to me like they really haven't changed that much. And like I said at the beginning, they are not a bad person, and you cared for them very much. They still care for you very much. But if a person is not going to really work on themselves and really try to push through their issues, because we all have issues, as the song goes, right? Because I got issues. We all have them. And if you're not willing to look in the mirror and acknowledge what your issues are or your baggage is, you're going to get stuck in life, and you're not going to be able to kind of go forward. And that's what happens with relationships. If your partner is a person who wants to look at their issues and wants to address them and wants to work on them, it's not about arriving at a place where you're all good and you're all done, you don't need to learn anything else. It's about the journey and trying to do your best to work on things, which makes you a more open person and easier to have a relationship with. So that's the issue here, is I think that there would still be this imbalance of how much they're willing to work on themselves, and versus how much you're willing to work on yourself, which there's a grave difference there. But that said, there's still love there on both sides. Definitely much more on their end, but that's just because, like I said, they're viewing you as the one that got away. So they're looking at the situation with some rose-colored glasses. I'll say that. But again, I can't say it's a hard no, because I do think that they may push past their fears at some point. I don't think it's right now. I think it's going to take a little while. So timing is a hard thing to tell. But it could be holiday time, maybe, maybe like Christmas or Hanukkah, or that kind of holiday, like late December, toward the new year. Usually has people feeling very nostalgic and missing people all the more. So they might, at that point, make contact, and if not, it would be sometime in the new year. I think that they will find the courage to do that, but I'm not sure that anything would rekindle, because I don't know how impressed you'll be with where they're at. That said, nothing is written in stone. So remember, if you don't like what you're hearing, just remember that things change and ebb and flow all the time. I am not God. Nothing is written in stone. This could change. This is a reflection, sort of a snapshot of how it looks right now and in this moment. So you would have to, if and when they do reach out to you, you would have to look back into it at that time, or even look into your own heart and your own soul and ask, how do I really feel about this? And then go from there. All right. So, but to answer the main question, yes, they miss you very, very much. And will they do something about it? Yeah, I think that they will reach out. I think that they will. Will you sort of get back together or rekindle anything? That's a big question mark. I lean towards no, but it's a question mark. It's a maybe. Okay? I hope that you guys found this helpful. And we're going to move on now to set of cards number 2. Oh, wait. No, we're not. I'm lying. I forgot your outcome card. Listen to me. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The heart. All right, this is a very special deck. It's from a British hereditary witch from England. It's quite beautiful, these images. And the heart. So, okay. With that... oh my gosh, I feel like what I can say is that this person, they're always going to love you. They're always going to love you. That you really were and are the love of their life. Like they may surely have been involved with other people or maybe one other person, but I think it was short-lived. And I feel like they have this attitude sort of no one compares to you for them. So they're always going to love you. And I think that you can know and believe that no matter what happened between you, the love was real. The love that this person felt for you was very, very real and still is. Despite whatever issues they had, despite whatever differences you guys had or arguments that came up or disagreements, the love was there and the love was real, and it still is for this person. And I think for most of you, you probably still feel love for them too. I just think that those of you who are asking the question, I don't think that you're in love with them anymore, but you probably will always, a part of you will probably always love them like that. For the other person that's missing you, they still love you. Like they could just like rekindle being in love with you. For them, they could do it in a second because they really haven't gotten over you. So it's a beautiful thing, but it's a little melancholy. It's like a kind of, it's beautiful, but it's a little sad. I hope that this person that you're questioning about, I hope that they find a way to work on themselves and push past their issues. And I hope they find the courage to reach out and contact you, just so that even if it's just for closure for both of you, I feel like some answers are needed there, even if it doesn't rekindle the relationship. I think it would be actually cathartic for both of you. Okay, so now we are actually finished. I'm so sorry about that. So we are going to move on now to set of cards number 2 and set of cards number 3. Set of cards number 1. Can you tell I haven't had caffeine? I need, I think, some tea or some coffee. Good luck with everything, okay? Good luck to you guys. All right, moving on now. Okay, here we go, everybody. So we've got set of cards number 2. And let's just put these aside. All right. Hopefully I don't mess anything up for you guys. I kept saying the wrong set of cards there. Okay. So, set of cards number 2. Let me just, while I'm setting this up, let me please remind everybody to subscribe and like and share. It would mean a lot to me if you could do that. Okay, so here we go for set of cards number 2. Does he or she miss me? And will they do anything about it? Okay. All right. Alrighty here. Set of cards number 2. All right. As I take a deep breath and a sigh there. Okay. Do they miss you? Yes. Let's just start with that. Yes, they definitely miss you. This person definitely has some deep regret. Deep, very deep regret. And they do very much miss you. And they do think about you quite a bit. Okay. However, was this a great relationship? It doesn't appear that way to me. This looks to me like this was a troubled relationship, first of all. It looks like, a lot went wrong with this. It looks like there were major trust issues on both ends, but I think especially on your end, I feel like you couldn't trust this person. I think that there were betrayals, maybe some cheating, and, you know, other things. I feel like this person definitely has some major issues where it's not wise to trust this person. Let me put it that way. I think that they're not past lying to you or to other people. I wouldn't put that past them. I feel like this is a person who just has a little bit of a shady background, and they just can't, they're not able to just be themselves. And I don't think that this person, you know, loves himself or herself. I don't think he loves himself. I'm gonna say he, just so I don't have to keep saying he or she, but remember that you equate this to either male or female, okay? But yeah, this person he doesn't love himself. And so, I mean, and, you know, many of us would struggle with that kind of thing, but this is kind of a severe case of that. So, well, this is a person who would act with a lot of, let's say, bravado, even if it's a female. This is a person who comes off like they have all this confidence, but actually they're very, very insecure, very. And that's a huge problem because it makes them act out and act in ways that are just very unbecoming, and cause a lot of problems in a relationship. So, like I said, I think that there was definitely reasons not to trust them. There was definitely some cheating probably, or lying about other things. I would even go so far as there could even have been violence. There could have been some domestic violence or anger issues, you know, some anger management type stuff. There could have been some lashing out. This could have been a person, maybe they weren't violent physically, but maybe they were very verbally abusive. So I don't see it as having been a good person for you to have a relationship with. But that said, I feel like it was a very eventful, important relationship in your past. And I think that why you would even be looking into, does this person miss me, is, you know, probably for you along the lines of, you know, when we spend time with someone, and we're so close and intimate with someone, and we give our whole heart and we love them with everything we have, but they're abusive towards us in whatever way, whether it's physical or verbal, or just in the trespassing of faith, like, you know, lying to you, cheating on you, betraying you, that kind of thing, or all of the above. This feels like for many of you, this could have been a mixed bag of a lot of things like that, a lot of negative issues like that. But even so, you would say logically, like, why would you even care if this person misses you? If it's done and it's over, good riddance, right? You shouldn't even want to think about it. But the irony is that we do, because especially when we love someone who's mean to us, it's almost like a little puppy, or like, you know, or a little child. They just seek unconditional love. They give unconditional love and they seek it back. So like a little innocent child wouldn't, if you're mean to the child, it still wants your approval and your love. And you would think like, ugh, why? They were so mean to you. But the child doesn't know the difference, right? The child just is giving love and wants to receive love. And it gets almost worse, the wanting to receive love, when you're so sweet and innocent and you're being, you know, abused in some way. Meaning, you know, like the child, not necessarily that, you know, you're sweet and innocent. Maybe you are, but the bottom line is that there's a tendency here to look back and feel like, you know, why was this person that way to me, and why didn't they love me, or did they even love me? And what I think I need to make clear to you here is this person is not really capable of truly loving somebody for what that would really mean, because they weren't shown that kind of love, so they don't know how to get there. You know, it's not saying it's not possible for them at some point in their life, but this person, to me, is still very stuck in an angry place. I think that they are still lying to people and still behaving badly. So it's a good thing that you're not with this person anymore. You know, it would be a very good thing that you're not with this person anymore. But I definitely understand the impulse or the urge to want to know, well, did they really love me? Do they still? Did they ever love me? Do they miss me? Do they think of me? Because when you go through such an intense kind of relationship and connection, and it's negative, for most of the time. Probably for some of the time it wasn't negative, but for a lot of the time, I picture for many of you, probably your friends and family did not like this person. You probably got a lot of grief about it, about dating this person. And for some of you, it might have been extreme. For some of you, you might even have like sort of hidden from your family and friends, or like laid low, or didn't spend much time with them. You probably became isolated, is what it looks like to me. Probably many of you became very isolated, because how can you be around your healthy or your loving friends and family? They're going to notice right away that this person is bringing you down or treating you badly, or that you have changed because of your relationship with this person in a derogatory way. So it makes sense that you would have stayed away from friends and family. So for many of you, there was a lot of baggage to sort of sort through and push through when this relationship was over. But does this person miss you? They do. I will say that they do miss you, and they do think of you, and they do regret many of their actions. So that's what makes this person interesting. You know, I don't believe, you know, very few people are like all bad. They are out there, for sure. They are out there. There are evil people in the world, don't get me wrong. But in terms of this person, for those of you who've chosen set of cards number 2, for most of you, okay, the person that you're inquiring about, they weren't all horrible. They really did have probably quite a bad childhood, and they just were never given the tools and were never shown love. And then, you know, you came along with your big heart and you thought, I can fix him or her, or I can love them enough to make up for whatever they didn't have. But it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You can't fix someone, you know. I'm sure you've probably all learned that lesson now. So they did acknowledge, and maybe they didn't acknowledge it to you, but they are aware that you have a huge heart and that you did try to love them. This person is definitely very aware that you tried to love them as best you could, that you really, really went out of your way and bent yourself into a pretzel to give as much love and to be as tolerant and as accepting as you could, and to try to love them through all of their damage. But you know, they may not have acknowledged it to you, but they know that you're like that, and they know that you tried. I just don't think that this person has made any kind of great changes at all. So will they do anything about it? You know, I wish that they wouldn't, for your sake, because I just don't feel like this is ever something you should go back to at all. But I will say that, are they going to try to reach out, or will they try to make contact, or try to come back into your life? Let's say, yeah, they probably will. He or she probably will. But I would advise you to really take that with a grain of salt, because I don't see any change in terms of the lying or misrepresenting at all. In fact, I think that not all, but most of you, this person is either still involved with somebody else, or has been seeing somebody else, or multiple somebody else's. And, you know, I just don't think, I don't think that's something you want to get into. You know, what they're dating, or in a full relationship with one other person, or even multiple other people that they're dating. but they're supposed to be, let's say, committed to somebody, and then they're trying to come back into your life, and they're going to portray themselves as being single, is what I'm trying to say. So they're definitely going to continue to misrepresent themselves. And even though it feels like quite a bit of time has probably gone by for a bunch of you since this situation went on, or at least it feels like a lot of time has gone by, it feels like you have done your best to move forward, and I think that you're in a healthier, better place, but this person definitely is not. If anything, they come across to me as a little bit worse, and that's saying a lot. So I'm really, I really would say I would not engage in any kind of connection with this person, even talking, even being friends. I wouldn't even do that, because even though your heart may still care for this person and wish that they could work through their stuff or be different, or you want to focus on the things that were good about them, because of course everybody has good in them too. But it just wouldn't be wise for you, because it would just entrap you again in a way that's very negative. Let me just try to expand. I don't really have to expand much, but let me try to expand a little bit, because I feel like this is pretty clear where it's going. Oh, look what has popped out. Okay. I feel like this is pretty clear. That keeps happening. That happened with the set of cards before. That's the same card with a different deck. So yeah, he or she definitely will contact you. They'll contact you, but should you go for it? No, I really don't think so. I really, I don't. Oh, wow. That card came up twice as well. Yeah, I mean, again, so yes, this person will try to contact you, most likely. That is most likely to happen, okay? They will reach out. But honestly, it wouldn't last very long, even if you did go to rekindle something, and it would be kind of weird and awkward. It wouldn't like click right back in or anything like that. And just again, this is another way to say that you can't trust this person. It's another way to say that they haven't done any work or changed in the realm of that they may cheat or lie or be verbally abusive or physically abusive or mentally abusive or whatever it is. Even they might even, for some of you, could even be someone who actually would like steal from you. Like, it's just a person that has is quite troubled. Okay. So, and there's a little bit, I have to say, it's like even a little bit of danger involved to me, because to have this card come up twice, I'm not a fan of, with regard to all the other cards that are here, it's coming up. Usually this is when you can free yourself of a very negative situation. This woman is not really trapped. She can walk backwards and wiggle out of these restraints. They're not. She's like being blindfolded and held, but they're loose. Like, she can wiggle out of this. What she's tied up with, this rope, let's say. It's not even rope. It looks like bandages almost. But she can wiggle out of that and then remove her blindfold. And all these swords that are surrounding her, the ones behind her, there's an empty space there, and she could just back up and then she's free. So it's really like when you are enslaving yourself, or something is enslaving you and you're allowing that to be. It's really the symbolism of that. It's when you feel trapped, or you're letting yourself be trapped. So I would say to those of you who have chosen this set of cards, free yourself of this. Know that this person, it's literally that saying, it's not you, it's me. I hate to be cliche like that, but it's true in this case. It really is. This person did care for you and still does. For however much they're capable of caring for someone, they did care for you. And they still do think of you, and they do miss you. And however much of their heart is capable of loving, they did give you that. Even if you didn't feel it, even if you didn't see it. They did give you whatever they're capable of. It's just that they're not capable of much, because they have a lot of damage that was done to them, and they have not sort of learned to change their own way and to treat people the way you want to be treated. They haven't learned the lesson of you only get what you give in life. So no one taught it to them, and they haven't been able to figure it out yet thus far on their own. So their behavior pattern is the same, if not actually worse. So yes, they're probably going to reach out, but my best advice, this is really the angels and your spirit guides are really kind of calling out here to say, don't engage with this. Do not engage. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I had a little technical difficulty with my camera, so I'm just gonna repeat. I'm not sure what it caught on the last minute there, so I'm just going to repeat to you that the angels and the spirit guides, they are definitely advising you to keep this in the past, and don't engage with this person if and when they reach out. I do feel like they are going to try to get in touch with you and try to rekindle something even, but I wouldn't go there because it would not work out. It would be very, very short-lived, and it would be awkward and uncomfortable, and you would end up feeling like this again. You would end up feeling entrapped and not happy and not good. So just take from this that they did love you and they did care for you, and whatever part of them is capable of that, they did feel that for you. And know that you can't save someone. They have to want to help themselves, and they have to want to save themselves. It's just not on you. Okay, it's nothing really that you did wrong or that, you lacked or anything like that. This situation will repeat with whoever they're with. It will just repeat over and over. So know that it's not you, and that there's someone and something much, much better out there for you. So don't revisit the past with this is the best advice I could say from the angels, the spirit guides, and myself. Let's see what your outcome card is. The fox. The fox. So, okay, that's just perfect. It's letting you know that this guy is still as sly as a fox. Like this guy or girl, this person is still always trying to get away with something, always trying to outsmart everybody, always trying to pull the wool over your eyes. So yeah, that's very fitting, and really just reiterating, just don't go there, because you will not be able to trust this person. As attractive as they might be, or whatever was really alluring about them, it's just, it's almost like a raccoon, right? Raccoons look super cute, but if you try to approach them and pet them, they'll probably take your hand off. They're very dangerous. They literally one swipe with their claws, and they're really vicious. So even though they look quite adorable, they're just you don't want to do that. So this is the same kind of situation. So don't get pulled in, by puppy dog eyes kind of thing, or anything like that. Okay. And again, remember, this is a snapshot in time. This is how things look right in this moment. Remember that things can change always, but in this case, I would really say that this is a pretty strong reading to suggest staying away and not partaking in this. But that does not mean that there's no, that doesn't mean that there isn't love for you, and that there isn't something better and much more wonderful. That's just not what this reading is about. It's focused on this. So, but I would encourage you to just look to now and the future, and don't look back with this, because it's in the past because it's supposed to be. Okay? All right, good luck to everyone who chose pile 2. I hope that was helpful, and I wish you all the best. All right, let's move on now to set of cards number 3. So we'll get to that. Okay, set of cards number 3. Here we go. Let's just get you guys lined up. All right. All right, set of cards number 3. Let's pull you into the frame. Oh, wow. Okay. see. Oh, good. It's nice to have something a little lighter now. Set of cards number 2 is a little heavy. This looks much lighter. Wow. This is interesting and quite special, maybe. Okay. All right, set of cards number 3. Does he or she miss me, and are they going to do anything about it? Wow. Well, this is a whopping yes. They miss you. They miss you, and they think about you quite a bit. And they, I'm just adjusting the angle here. They miss you and they think about you quite a bit. All right, let me say, I feel like for this group, this could be a person, first of all, that's at a distance from you. So we could be talking about someone who, let's say, is either lives in another state or another country. Could even be somebody who, I'm getting strong Europe vibes. So it could be someone who lives in Europe and you live here in the States. Or, you know, it doesn't matter. You could be in Canada, they could be in Europe. You could be in Canada, they could be in America. It doesn't matter. It equates to wherever around the world. I do get a particularly strong Europe vibe, but that doesn't mean that, and it doesn't mean it wouldn't apply to you if, you know, you're thinking of someone who, you know, lives in, I don't know, Honduras, and you live here, you know, that doesn't matter. But regardless, and it can also just be another state. It could be, you know, you live in California and they live in New York. So it does feel like it's possible that this person is at a distance from you. But again, if it's not a physical distance, it could feel, maybe it can be that there was some kind of great, let's say, emotional distance of some kind. But it does feel like, and it also feels very strongly to me like this may even be a person that wasn't technically even, that you didn't have a relationship with in terms of a romance. Let's say they weren't your boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriends, or husband or wife or anything. Let's say maybe they were an acquaintance or a friend, or someone you knew through a friend group kind of thing, right? Or like your good friend's brother or your good friend's sister or something. It can be like that, but I feel like they were around a lot, you know, around you a lot at one point. And there is a connection between the two of you. I think that you've both always known, let's say there's always been like an energy, a connection. Let's say there's always been like a spark, some chemistry. Maybe you have, like, let's say you've kissed, or you've had a couple of times of like a, you know, a little, it feels like, I don't even want to say a fling. I feel like probably more just like a stolen kiss here or there. Maybe like, you know, drunk at a wedding or something. But it doesn't feel like it was a whole relationship. Now, that may not necessarily be true for all of you. The other way that it could be is that it was a relationship for some of you, but it was with someone that either you were friends with first, or there was a great friendship feeling within the relationship. So, but for many of you, I feel like this is going to be that you've not actually been in a relationship with this person, but there's like a huge chemistry going on. And maybe you did even date, but maybe it was just very quick. And nothing really came of it, even though, but it could be just, like I said, because this person's at a distance. You know, maybe there was a spark and a thing, but, you know, and a huge chemistry. But again, if this person lives in Europe and you live here, or vice versa, what are you really going to do with that if you're not willing to go back and forth, and, you know, it's costly, and long distance relationships are definitely hard to maintain. So, but this person does 100% think about you, and they think about you a lot, and they think about you, honestly, this is coming up to me like they think about you even like in present tense, and they think about how they could possibly have a future with you. This person really is looking for some kind of like new beginning, or an opening of some kind of how they can sort of get back in. And when I say get back in, it really feels more like they want to like sort of get something off the ground that hasn't really gotten off the ground yet. That's what this feels like. It feels very much like soulmate energy. And I feel like that's how this person views you. They view you like a soulmate. Like you really, I think that they are aware that you're the one for them, but it feels like there is some kind of obstacle. And the first thing that comes to my mind, like I said, is the being at a distance. It feels like physical distance is going to be an issue for most of you that have chosen this set of cards. But also it could be something that's not equated to distance in terms of why it would be holding you back. Like it could not in terms of physical distance. It could be like I mentioned the friendship thing. So it could be maybe it's somebody's brother or somebody's sister that you're close to, and they don't think it would be acceptable, or it would cause some kind of problem. Maybe it's like your best friend's ex-boyfriend. It feels like there's something slightly complicated that sounds like eek right off the bat, like, oh boy, how do we get around that? But they can't stop thinking about you is the point. They can't stop thinking about you, and the connection is very, very strong on both ends, it comes up to me. And also back to the friendship thing, I feel like they view you as that there is this friendship with you, and they love that that's there first. You know what I mean? They love that that there is a friendship feeling between the two of you. So they just hold you in very high regard. They respect you. They think you're, just beautiful or handsome or whatever. They really have stars in their eyes when they think of you and look at you, and it's really, but it's not rose-colored glasses. It's they really just, I think they see your spirit, and they think your spirit is just beautiful, and that's really lovely. It really is. That's a beautiful thing. So for this group of people, the person that you inquired about, yes, they miss you, and they think about you all the time, and they're trying to figure out how they could actually possibly give it a go and make something, happen with you. So they're definitely looking for a new beginning. And the fact that I have the Chariot here, we have some movement. So that makes me feel like they are going to figure out at some point how to give it a try, or at least that's their fervent wish. At least it's like they really want to figure out how, and they're going to try for that. They go back and forth about it a lot. I think they ebb and flow a bit. I think there are moments where they're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to move there, I'm going to travel, or I'm going to whatever it is, or I'm going to tell so-and-so that I want to date her, or I want to date him, or whatever it is. But I do feel like there's something with family. So it's either, like I said, that they live at a distance and maybe they don't want to break away from their family. Maybe they all live, let's say, I don't know, they all live in Canada, or they all live in Italy, and you live here. Okay, you live in the United States when I say here. So let's say you live in the United States. Let's just say you live in Florida, they live in Italy, okay? And no one in their family has ever left their country and come to live here, or anywhere else. So, and they're close, this person, it feels like they're close with their family. So it feels like there's this great sort of mountain to scale, like this mountain to climb in order to be together. And so it does look like a block, like holding them back a little bit, but they really want to figure out how to barrel through it. And they do weigh it out, and they do, doing this. They do go back and forth about it because they don't want to leave their family. But at the same time, they can't stop thinking about you. And they feel like if they don't figure out a way to try, you're going to be the one that got away. You're going to be, there was this beautiful soulmate for me, and this lovely connection, and this person who was like, could be my friend and my lover, and I lost them. So yeah, they don't want that to happen. And so they're really quite focused on how can I push through this? Like, how can I figure this out? And they feel like they're pretty confident that you reciprocate. I mean, they're not 100% sure, but they're pretty sure that it doesn't feel like that's not what's blocking them. They're not afraid of being rejected by you. They're not afraid that you wouldn't go for it. I think it's known between the two of you that there's this mutual connection. I think when you see each other, it's very hard for the two of you to stay away from each other. You're just really drawn to each other like magnets. So even if you only see each other once every few years or something, I feel like it's a person who's been around for a while in your life, and they really want to figure it out somehow, and they feel like you would be the one. Like, this person thinks like they would marry you, they would build a life with you. They're not sure, like, would you move to where they are, but they're afraid to ask that of you. I think they're afraid to put that on you. They really put it more on themselves. Like, I would probably have to go to where she is or where he is. And they don't want to, like, make it a burden for you, kind of thing. And where it wouldn't fully be a burden for them, they can come to where you are, but where the burden would be is with their family. They would have a lot of guilt there. So they feel a little bit stuck. But the fact that most of these cards have like a beautiful background going on here. So this is all like really very positive, and this is a person who tries to think positive. This is a person who's like, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, everything will be okay. They're a glass is half full kind of person. And I kind of love that for you guys. For those of you who have chosen set of cards 3, you need that kind of person. You need a person who's positive and uplifting. And like I said, the glass is half full. You need that kind of person in your life. Not to say that you're not, but it's an essential point that would be really good for you. And I think you feel the same way that this person feels. Like, you would love to try to get together and try to explore the relationship and see where it would go. But you also are aware of whatever the blocks are, whether it's being at a distance, like I said, long distance, living in another country or another state, or it's family, or it's both, or it's your, not wanting to leave your family in order to go so far. Or it's some kind of connection thing, or it's like, again, it's somebody's ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, or there's something where there's a complication, but it does feel like it is something that you could definitely push past. Let's see. I feel like we should try to expand with this one too. So let's try to do that. Okay, let's just, oh wow. Okay, wow. All right, yeah, this is definitely letting me know that this person is gonna figure out a way. He's gonna figure out a way to try. Really, it looks like, he wants to like swoop in like a knight on a horse, like a knight in shining armor, and kind of sweep you off your feet kind of thing. Even if it's a female, that it's the same, that energy. They want to like swoop in and like, have it figured out and just say like, just come with me and like we'll ride off into the sunset kind of thing. This is how the person feels about you. I'm not saying you will ride off into the sunset, but that's how they feel about you, and that's what they want to like do. But we have the 9 of Cups here, so this is saying like this is answering a wish. So I do feel like they are going to find a way to give it a try. Because there's a lot of celebration cards here, and there's showing me getting a wish of a union coming together. So it could be your wish, it could be their wish, or it could be both of you are secretly wishing it, or maybe not so secretly. It just what the issue is going to be, though, that it's still showing that there is that issue, whether it's some kind of family connection complication, or the being at a distance, maybe also job, like what they do for a living or for a career, is a little bit like, how do I do that? How do I figure this out? But there is a solution. So they do in this moment feel a little stuck, feel like, how could I make it happen? But there is a solution if they just kind of shift their thinking. And same for you, if you like shift your thinking or open your mind to it, there is a solution that can be handed out to you. I mean, it's interesting in the tarot, you know, here we have the hands sort of like coming from the gods, or, you know, the clouds here. So this would be like divine intervention. This would be like, there is help if this person would turn and look this way, he could see. Whereas the choices that he's looking at are like, he's like, yeah, whatever, these don't look good. But if he would just turn his head, here is the solution that's actually perfect. And same here with the Ace of Pentacles, like, so he may be worried about career or finance or how he would do this, but meanwhile, the Ace of Pentacles is the heightened version of that suit. So here we have this extreme kind of help coming from the heavens. That's divine, that will figure it out and help. So this is totally possible. And I have to say that once you jump over the obstacle issue, it looks like it could be a very successful, beautiful love relationship. Like I said, it really seems to answer a wish for both of you. This looks like a person who's kind of perfect for you. So while I'm hesitant to, I hate to make people, or to suggest, not make, let me say, I hate to suggest that people put all their eggs in this basket and, by no means sit around and wait. But what I would say is that the angels are saying here, you can have faith in this, and you can ask the angels for help, and you don't be afraid to ask God, to ask the angels to put it out there. Use the law of attraction and picture it. Picture you and this guy or this girl. Picture yourselves together, either where you live or where they live, and whichever one would be, you think would be better. Visualize it and see the chance for the opportunity. You can't control other people. Everyone has free will, so you can't manipulate a person's free will, but you can put it out there that you would love the opportunity to try to have a relationship with this person, especially when you know that they like you and they care for you and they're interested in you romantically. Then all you're really doing is asking for the opportunity, and that's fine. You're not asking to manipulate their free will. That's always wrong. So as long as you're not doing that, there's nothing wrong with praying for a chance. As long as you know that person does care for you, or as long as you know that person is very much interested. And this person is definitely interested. They're very interested. They really view you as a soulmate, like I said, and they view you as somebody that they would try to have a future with, maybe even marry. So this is very much looks beautiful, and this makes me very excited for you, Group 3 here. This is very, very exciting. This looks like you need to have faith in what you would love to try. I think for some of you, you're like afraid to even wish for it, to even think about it, because it seems like either forbidden or it seems like it's impossible because they live so far away, kind of thing. But nothing's impossible, especially for God, especially for the universe. Nothing is impossible. So put some positive affirmations on it, visualize it, put some prayers on it, talk to the angels, ask for help, ask for the opportunity, ask for the chance, ask God to clear the way, to give you guys a chance. And what you can always say, I always say, with harm to none, with love and light. When you say with harm to none, when you say with love and light, it means you're not asking for any kind of manipulation. You're not going to hurt anyone or anything. You're asking with harm to none in a way that does not hurt anybody, including the person that you're asking about, or yourself, or anyone around them. So you're asking without hurting anyone, and with love and with light and in a positive way. Thank you for bringing us the opportunity to be together. And that's a beautiful prayer, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it will help to manifest your wish even faster. But this is saying, it looks very strongly that you're going to get your wish with this, and that person is going to get their wish with you, because it's mutual here. You both really have feelings for each other, and you really want to explore them, and you should be allowed to. And I think that you will get that opportunity. So that is beautiful. Let's just see your outcome card. Oh my God, the ring. The ring. Okay, well, I'm assuming you guys can figure out what the ring means. For the most part, it means just what you might think. It means marriage. It means unity. If you're not someone that wants to get married, don't worry about it. It's still the symbolism of having a committed long-term relationship is really what it means in the end. But this is saying that that person does want that with you. They desire a committed long-term relationship. They most probably will want to marry you or actually do it if they take the chance and figure out how to make it happen. This will probably lead to marriage, is what that is saying. This will probably lead to, at the very least, a very long-term committed relationship. But there's a very strong possibility for marriage. You also had it in the other cards as well in the tarot. So that is beautiful. Congratulations, Group 3. I think that you have something really beautiful headed your way. So have faith. And remember to talk to the angels and use your affirmations and put your prayers on it, and this will manifest for you. Congratulations, everybody. All right, I hope that you found that helpful, and I hope that you will, again, subscribe and like and share. I would really appreciate the support. And don't forget to hit the bell to be reminded when I put up new videos in the future. And till next time, manifest your best life, okay? Thanks, everybody.